Man, whew. Listen, it was some technical difficulties that we were having. But we are here. We are here on the fourth episode. Advocacy and accountability. Listen, it's definitely gonna be different today. Um, Definitely gonna be different today because there's a lot of things that has happened and has taken place, and we're gonna try to break it down. We're gonna start to break it down tonight. We're going to start to break it down tonight. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, like, sharing, and subscribing. Y'all have been wonderful through this whole series, all 4 episodes. And I'm just going to go ahead and just take it out the bag right now. We pretty much, we're going to keep continuing with this. We're going to keep doing this. Like, we're going to keep doing this. You guys have really showed up and showed out, and we're going to keep doing it. And we're going to keep doing it because you made it important. You made it important. You said, hey, you wanted to, let me see where I can put that at. Okay. I'm sorry about that. You said you wanted to make it important. We made it important. You said you want to talk about education. You said you wanted to get, you wanted full transparency. You wanted to have this open discussion. And so that's what we are planning and intending to do. We know it's going to take more than 4 episodes now. After the conversations that we've had, the things that we were able to do, get done throughout the weeks, you showed up every single time. So we appreciate you for that. And man, this, I guess, she needs no introduction at all. She needs no introduction at all about who she is, about what she's about, how she moves, what she cares about, her passion, her commitment to trusting the process, to her own process. And I'm just gonna bring her on right now. And she needs no introduction, and she can just say it for herself. Hey, good evening. Hey, what's up? Hey, look, let me sit back. Let me sit back, and I'm gonna get real comfortable for this one. I have very few things. Not that I have a lot of things that I want to share and talk about, but I don't know exactly where I want to start because this has been a very telling week.
Very eventful, if I must say so myself.
Yeah, very eventful, and I'm grateful for our platform. And I say our because before I brought you on, hold on. Before I brought you on, excuse me, I did tell the people that this is it. We're gonna talk about education, and as we're developing trust in the process, we are going to co-host when we start talking about public education in the city of Pontiac and throughout the country. I think it's a well fit. I think it's a great fit. We've had an opportunity to really have some conversation and on and off of the show, and people have gotten an opportunity to see how you work and see how you move. And we represent Pontiac, and Pontiac needs representation that is not afraid to have hard conversations and address the elephant in the room. And before we dive into it, how are you feeling? What's going on with you? Tell me what space you in. Let the people know where you at.
Whew. Well, hey, this is real, raw, and cut. This is what transparency looks like in real time. What space am I in? It has been a rough few days for me, primarily because I'm here for the work. I'm here for our kids. I'm here to make a difference using the platform of being an elected official as a school board trustee. And now, thanks to you as a platform to be able to speak directly to people that want to listen. But it's been a rough few days since the meeting, and I am in a better space now than I was in Monday and Tuesday. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that because it is a very disappointing, heartbreaking experience to sit there and watch things unfold that you have no control over. You know it's wrong, you know it's unfair, you know it's you every aspect of legalities and improper conduct, you know that it's there, you can prove it, you have been able to prove it since February of 2025, but yet and still you have to sit because you're not of the majority. And to sit back and watch how things unfolded on Monday and to feel completely helpless for myself and another trustee, it sent me to almost a breaking point. But I am thankful to still be here. I had to be reminded, thanks to many people that actually care about me in my
Mm-hmm.
life, I had to be reminded that it's not about me, and I have to be here for our children, for people who care about this district, for our staff. I have to be. No matter how I feel, no matter how I'm being treated, it's irrelevant. I have to push through it. So once I was able to get past those feelings, I'm thankful to be here, but it's been rough. It's been very rough because I'm very prideful and I hold myself to a level of standard that that I'm proud of, that people can be proud of, that people who elected me to put me in this position, that they can look back and say, that's why I voted for her, or I didn't vote for her, but I see that she's doing the work. And I felt like I had let some people down just because of things that I don't have any control over. And that's hard for me to swallow because I don't like to let people down. I don't like to fail. I don't like to not move things forward, but I'm in a better space today. So thank you for asking.
With that being said, I appreciate your transparency, and this
Mhm.
is what trust in the process is about.
And I ain't even mean to go there, but that's
No,
just the
no,
truth.
no. To be honest with you, like we're a different platform over here. We're different.
Mhm.
That's why we had the platform, because we don't have spaces, or we're not allowed in certain areas in our own community to have these very very hard conversations. And and I'll be honest with you, in my standpoint, when I saw everything unfolding at the board meeting, and I got a clip, and I'm gonna play the clip. And matter of fact, let's do that.
And
Let's
you
do that.
saw it real time because you
I
were
was
there.
there.
So
I
you,
was there. I saw it real time, and I'm gonna play the clip, and I want folks to look, to watch, who haven't seen it, and for the same things they were trying to censor another, well, they ultimately did. The board ultimately made a decision to censor this trustee. The disrespect from the leadership, the disrespect from other colleagues, the explanation of why they were censoring this person did not line up with the resolution. And
the resolution from that was dated 2021.
yeah, well, the resolution, yes, it didn't line up, and it did not. So for me, as a person of law, a person who is in this community is respected to do that, to enforce the laws, who's taken several oaths as it relates to being an elected official. It was tough to watch it, and it was tough. And I had when you guys took that break, I talked to a trustee and I said, "Hey, why are y'all doing this out loud? Like, why are you doing?" It was the same thing that was done to me. And I know these is your 4 episodes, and we go in episode 5 and 6 and 7, we'll get more into it. But they've done this 2 other times. This was the third time, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
outdone. And it's a continued behavior. And so I hope they would have censored themselves, but of course that's not censored themselves. Of course that's not going to happen. But we're going to talk about. I just let them listen to a little bit. They
It
judge it for
should be
themselves.
consistent. And that is my only concern. This is not the first incident. I have everything in writing. Nobody has ever responded to me, even as recent as this weekend. And President Hanna, you were the first that did not respond. And I sent you several emails, and it's okay. So if you're
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. Let me go back. This is what happens when you go live. Let me go
it
back.
should be consistent. And that is my only concern. This is not the first incident. I have everything in writing. Nobody has ever responded to me, even as recent as this weekend. And President Hanna, you were the first that did not respond. And I sent you several emails, and it's okay. So if you're going to, yeah, it's funny. If you're going to implement, if you're going to be if you're going to, if I'm not done, if you are going to enforce rules, point of order.
Now I want to go. I'm gonna stop right there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking about at that time? Because obviously, leadership didn't. They basically edged you on. It was they snickered at your comments and belittled you as you were and attempted to overtalk you. And when you said it was funny, and they said, "Oh yes, it was," you
Very,
know,
very funny. Yes, it
that
is
was
very funny. Mm-hmm.
that was the beginning of that was the beginning, I believe, of a lot of things that you felt and the things that were happening and how this board is being ran clearly showed me now looking, no, it wasn't just about me. Really, what this really is about is people egos and what they want to do. And so they pushed past you. How did you feel? What was that about?
I felt initially, I felt as if it was my due diligence to shed light on the lack of consistency and how certain board members receive certain privilege and certain things get overlooked if you're in the collective. But if you are, the narrative is created that you are disruptive, you're stopping the progress of the board. All the narratives that has been created by others
Mm-hmm.
pertaining to me and another trustee, when everybody else, without knowing and without even acknowledging what's really going on, it was frustrating. So my initial attempt was to say, "Hey, um, this behavior is inconsistent." But let's go back. My first attempt was to say, "You presenting a resolution with a date of 2021. I was not a board member. This is inaccurate, and it cannot be produced and read and presented as written." Of course, I received feedback on that. So I'm human because of my failed attempt to point out an error that should have been, it shouldn't have never been presented to the board. But nevertheless, I begin to get frustrated because this is not the first incident. Let's go back to February. Hmm, I this has been occurring, and I've been documenting this and sending emails to leadership since February. 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 It's not the first time. Maybe it's the first time for some that has witnessed it and they may pass judgment on my behavior. I don't apologize for that. I apologize to where my if someone is may have been affected by my tone. But I'm a human being and I am truly here for our kids. But let's talk about facts. This has been documented since February the 3rd of 2025. That was the first email I sent as it relates to parliamentary procedure, the lack of enforcing it, favoritism, unjust treatment, and unfairness. And since then, moving forward, I have been excluded from communication, isolated, um, and now blatantly disrespected in public. I had the floor. Let's talk about facts. I had the floor. If you go back, it said when I raised my hand and it said Trustee Miller, yes, Trustee Miller, and I said thank you. And I began to speak. And because leadership may not like what I have to say because it's truth, that doesn't super exceed parliamentary procedure and effective and correct governance. So the attempt was made to silence me. And because I do know parliamentary procedure, I'm still learning. You can't silence me when I have the floor. That's why I repeatedly said point of order. And when she snickered and I said, oh, something's funny, and she said, yeah, real funny, I don't know any leader that would ever conduct themselves in that type of manner in front of people and then attempt to create a narrative to blame the person that you did it to. It's shameful. It's it's embarrassing. So in that moment, I was frustrated. I was upset, and I felt I was disrespected. This is not left into interpretation. Look at the video. I was disrespected. We're colleagues. We are equal. I do not, it doesn't concern me. A title doesn't dictate power. Okay? We are all colleagues. We are all equal. Though some may feel like because they have a title, that gives them a certain authority over others, according to law, policy, and procedure, that is not accurate. And it frustrates me that we can't govern this district accordingly because of egos, because of lack of knowledge and or wanting to follow what the law and expectations are of a trustee. And we're being governed according to what is convenient and who's in the collective. And it infuriates me because our kids don't deserve it. Because of that behavior, it it puts a pause in our ability to really have conversations to make change for what's best for this district. That's the frustrating part for me.
So so when we've been doing this for a minute. We on our fourth episode, and we
Mhm.
really had to pivot because of some things that's taking place. When you think about because you're not the only trustee across the country that's going through this, right? You or Trustee Dooley that's going through this. We have a colleague in Rochester schools, one of the premier schools, and we tried to talk about this a little bit last week, who's also been censured from her board because she was trying to have a conversation. She wrote an op-ed about the tax increase that will affect Pontiac. She actually was defending Pontiac in this op-ed, like, hey, if these certain tax increases happen, Pontiac is going to have to come out of $3 million of their own tax revenue to this to other districts. And these are the type of conversations that we need to be having as it relates to our children and how we're supposed to govern and not singing kumbaya. My question to you is when you hear other colleagues in premier districts, and I'm only going to say premier districts because of the fact that that's what the stats say, right?
Mhm.
I have a different vision for Pontiac School District, and I believe that because we started the premier educational systems in Oakland County, and we fell off, that doesn't mean we can't get back to where we need to be. When you hear another colleague, she's not black, she's white, primarily white board. What does that say to you about public education and board governance in Michigan overall? Like, how does that, as a new trustee, what are some of the things that you would like to see done differently?
What I would like to see done differently is for no matter what background, what district you're in, for people to be receptive to hearing the truth. You may not like what I'm saying, but if it's absolute truth, do not attempt to silence people when it's we all took an oath of office for integrity, for transparency, and to serve the community, whatever community that we belong to. That's the oath of office that we took. So why are whether it's myself, another trustee, trustees in other districts, why are people who maintain and uphold that oath of office being penalized, and the attempt is made to silence them? Why is that being
Well,
done?
well, is that a rhetorical, or is that just you just? stating a question because in a sense it's clear of why it's being done. Like people want their way. Like just to be perfectly frank, like people want their way, and I think that's why Southern boards have really the Southern districts and have really started establishing folks on them boards that hey, we know y'all host the power of educating our kids. Like they're starting to see clearly that a school board holds a lot of power. We have a lot of financial power that we hold in our community. When we have bonds, we go out there $100 million bonds in our district to build new buildings. We just passed the sinking fund. Most folks don't even know why they passed the sinking fund. They just, hey, it's for the kids. They have heartfelt strings for the kids. It has nothing to do with board members or watching people go through anything that we're going through right now. Hey, they need the money. There's millions and millions of dollars that go through the school systems. Governance is our job, not being liked. So when you and I pose the question of being rhetorical because that's I dare not speak for somebody else who's on the opposite side of this conversation, right? Like I know I can speculate because of my multiple years of having to deal with these individuals and what their belief by their actions dictate what's going to happen to a district like Pontiac when it's not governed correctly. We begin to have, the state come in, millions of dollars going out the window, other communities getting rich off of our dollars from construction and things of that nature, which has taken place. But yet there's no oversight. And so so as a new board member, and now it's not just a new board member, like new board member have been baptized, like in some situations. How does this, you think, financially, speak about financially, how this, you think, from your opinion, financially, how does this impact our community when we don't govern correctly?
The financial impacts, I want people to really start paying attention to how impactful it is and how important it is, the number 4. And I know we talked about this several times. And the correlation of that is because financially, whatever is presented to the board with a dollar amount to it, no matter what the explanation is, no matter what the intent is, if it's logical or not, or even if it benefits our children, if 4 people vote for it, it passes. So financially, go back and review what has been passed in the past 12 months and how much of that has went towards our children. You don't have to take my word for it. It should all be available online for the public to view. It should be.
So you would say that there should be more transparency online and more available resources for parents to be able to tap into certain situations that the board is voted on, or
to my knowledge,
resolutions.
Absolutely. And to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still learning and maintaining memory of what is the laws and the expectations. But to my knowledge, I believe that there's a requirement to have a certain amount of minutes available for transparency on our district website for anyone to view. To my knowledge, is that correct?
I mean, that is correct, but that's not happening. Like it's not happening. So I don't want to keep, we know that's not happening. So I guess
that's the problem. And the problem with that is there's so much that's not happening. There's so much that's going on. The problem that I have learned recently with my frustrations and trying to seek out some assistance, some guidance, is that the Board of Education, whether it's Pontiac or any other district, governs themselves. So it's not, to my understanding, there's not a hierarchy that you can say, hey, here's documented proof of everything that is wrong, not based on my opinion, based upon Michigan state and state laws. Here's the financials that I have questions that I've never received an answer for. There is no one above the school board that I can go to for any assistance that will intervene and provide guidance and to stop this behavior dead in its tracks. That's frustrating to me.
So when you say there's nobody over the school board, I mean there's legislative processes that we need to take place. Like, so what do you mean? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because we have Public Act 451,
Mm-hmm.
and typically you would have to hire your own attorney to if you find something to be wrong in your own district and things of that nature. I think that needs to be changed. That's one of the things that I would like for this board to put it into a resolution, that we change that legislative space, that we should be able to have funds available to when our own board violates Open Meetings Act. We don't have to spend our own dollars fighting against a system that's already designed by the majority, if that makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
And I, as recent as of yesterday, based upon my own research and desperation, you're absolutely correct. I've called whoever will listen, all the way up to the state of Michigan and all the way down, and I was told exactly that, that based upon my proof, though as accurate and as undisputed that it is, I have to hire my own attorney to consider correcting the inappropriate behavior of the board that I'm elected to sit on. And
Yeah.
who's to say that I have the funds to hire my own attorney? That is disappointing for me that I have to go to that extreme to do what's right. I don't have anything personal. This is nothing personal. I want to do what's right to to bring back proper governance and order in this board for this district. And I can't do that without coming out of my pocket to hire an attorney. And we all know attorneys are not cheap. I
No,
have to come out
educate.
of
No,
pocket
no.
just to do what's right, because my attempts to bring attention to what is has obviously been occurring for the past 12 months that I've been a member of this board have failed. Those are all failed attempts, all of them.
Well, I can't agree with you on that
Okay.
aspect, only because of the fact that there were attempts. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get to see the end results, right? Like you don't get to see, unfortunately, being in law enforcement and going through investigations and going through, just giving you in politics. A lot of times you don't get to see the end results of what you're pushing until something happens. Like you got to go on various platforms. There's other things that you have to do, and you're absolutely correct. Like I found that out the hard way, just like you did in my first term, that I had to spend my own money. So I got my money up. So like Tupac said, like we in war, and now that I got my money right, now I'm ready for war. And so I did. I got my money right. I hired some attorneys. I got my platform together. This is probably the longest the platform has stayed together since we've been online. But I don't think they're failed attempts. I believe the fact that because that's the law, because that's the law, it is frustrating and that needs to be changed. And I wanted to point that out. The fact that is not something that every because some board members don't get paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even the stipends that we get doesn't cover. You would need to save a whole year's stipends just to cover a base educational attorney to help you to advocate when there is a violation of Open Meetings Act. And then you have to ask yourself as a new board member, and then you have to ask yourself, is it worth it, or do I wait on the next election? Right? Do community have do they even know how to go through a recall petition when something is wrong? or they're not getting help. And so that's why I asked you that particular question, because it was for me, it's I got my money right. I got some attorneys. I want to, some
Well,
of the
I got to
things
get
that
my money right because I'm
right.
not going to get, though
Well,
I've had a struggle mentally. I have mentally been struggling. I'm just going to admit it. I've been struggling mentally for a few days. And the thing that keeps me here and keeps me motivated and keeps me moving and pushing
mhm,
forward, even through the frustration, is our kids. It's the people that care about our kids who may not know how to fight, like I don't know how to fight and be in this war, but
mhm.
they're not going to give up on me, and I will not give up on them. I don't
And
have the answers, but I am struggling. I got to get my money up. First of all, if I had my money up, I hire the best attorney in order to see
yeah.
something done. Because I don't know how our children, this district deserves better than the consistent lack of like just everything.
I mean, and it's cool. I guess in this space, it's cool to have like these conversations because you get to vent, you get to have, because there is no other spaces. That's why I always tell
Mm-hmm.
trustees when I'm going to different, I'm doing board governance with different trustees throughout the country, and I always tell them like you are the advocate for your district. Like you have these platforms, you have to have, build your platform up, build social media up, allow for folks to hear you out and not just be sitting and suffering in silence, if that makes sense. Like that's why we started the Alumni Foundation over at the NSBA level, because we wanted folks to understand clearly that they're not in it alone,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we started out talking about this in our home district because of the fact that this home, and I needed
Mm-hmm.
people across the country people are tuning in. And again, hey man, shouts out to y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. I don't think we said anything to y'all, but shouts out for tuning in because, you know, we are now creating an environment for other trustees. What you're saying, there are thousands and thousands of trustees in urban areas who have gone through some of these same things and do not have an answer, right? Do not have an answer. Elizabeth said something that was very interesting. She said, GoFundMe, let's help to get that money up, and I would donate. Oh my goodness. Elizabeth, hey, listen.
Miss Elizabeth, when I tell you something, that makes my heart warm because I don't have any ill intentions. I'm not one to do anything that's not right because I have to sleep at night being the woman and mother that I am. But I have called, I have done everything in my power. And like you, I didn't even know, like you said, hey, I have to get my money up. I'm like, well, I guess that's what I need to do.
I
That's
mean,
what's
because in a
next
sense,
for me
yeah.
because I don't know what else to do.
Well, it's not even. We've had these, we've had these offline conversations, and
Hmm.
it's more so like, um, that's exactly what you have to do because
The
that's just
attorney
the laws
general's
in
office
Michigan.
told me that not to
Yeah.
get my money up, but they said
Oh
we
yeah.
don't enforce things like this. This is the procedure that you have to go to, which included
At Sixth Circuit.
hiring your own attorney.
At Sixth
And I'm like,
Circuit.
oh
Yeah.
God.
And so that's what I mean. Well, that's what's about to happen. Like, and of course, by a trustee, you being a trustee on the board, I'll never um, put you in a position where you're going to have to see some things. We talk about it on the platform, and then you see it before all the trustees see it. No, you're going to see it too, because it is for people like myself who this is my life's work, right? Like this is not something that I just decided to do because I'm 60 years old. And no disrespect to the folks who retire and then get into politics, but I was 22 when 22, 23 somewhere involved when I knew this is the type of work I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And so this is not a game for me. To some people who feel like they can just play with people's lives and just do what some of these board members are doing, then you gonna get this work. You about to get this work. And I've done it. This is gonna be the fourth time. And I believe I have a stronger case now than I had in the last three. And two people went to jail in those last three. I'm talking about if you got the nerve to overlook my children and allow them to suffer so that you can gain some type of title or structure or some type of accolades, you, in my mind, you deserve to be in prison. And you're no different than somebody who takes advantage of a weak-minded kid or student or give them candy or a pedophile or anything. I compare you to that because when
And
you are,
that's where my
that's just
frustration
where it's
is
at. So
so heightened
yeah,
because I feel like I am not doing my due diligence by our children. I don't care if they're kindergarten up until our seniors. They are the vulnerable population because they're our kids and we're supposed to protect them. And
okay.
because so much is being done that's not, that goes completely against what we should be doing for our children, and there's nothing that I can do to cause immediate response. It
See,
makes me feel, and
yeah,
I know
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes me feel helpless because I don't like, I don't like a lag when it comes to our kids. Our kids have enough trauma. Our kids have enough experiences that they have to overcome being in an urban district. Okay. They have enough. So when they come to school, at minimum, federally, we have certain requirements to meet of what we should do as a school district. And it frustrates me that at times we're not even doing that. And my only recourse is to hire my own attorney. I have all the proof. That's the one thing that I am very thankful for, is that I put everything in writing. So when people say, "Well, this is what really happened," and I say, "No, no, no. Here's February the 8th at 11:13 p.m. or a.m. Here's what was said, and here's your own words. You can't recreate this when you typed it and signed it."
I don't really have nothing else. I'm just letting you. I don't really, because at the end of the day, like there has to be a battleground. Like there has to be, what is the next step after that? Like what, you don't have the resource. Well, you say you don't have the resources, right? You like, okay, we don't have the resources, X, Y, and Z.
I, as an
How,
individual trustee, don't have the resources.
right. So we know we need to put that in legislative law. That's not about to happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the steps that you would give a new trustee um, after experiencing something like this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is your intent after this?
That's that. What is my intent after this? If you don't mind, I want to pivot back and respond to what you said about how long you've been in this and you realize this is my life. Don't play with it. I was this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I commend you for that. And I respect you for that. I admire you for that. My situation is a bit different. I I'm here now, not because I didn't even know I was supposed to be here until I got here. When I got here, it was like eye opening to me and was like, this is where I should be. I didn't even know it. But now that I'm here, I'm supposed to be here, and I'm going to do everything in my power, use every bone in my body, every breath to do what's right, to make a difference, to be consistent for our staff, students, this community, whoever cares about this community, whoever's involved. So I share that passion with you. It's just I don't have the years of experience that you have. I want to get there. What are my next steps? My next steps? I don't know. If you would have asked me this 2 days ago, it would have been a different response, to be completely honest. Because I felt defeated, I felt helpless, and I felt like I have failed our students. But I received some very stern conversations from people that actually care, that I appreciate, that are in my life. So now my next steps are to do whatever I can and more, because I will not sit back in silence. You cannot silence me. It doesn't matter what attempts that are made. You can't silence me. And
Okay.
Miss Elizabeth, I am a parent as well. I have a student at the high school. So not only am I on the governance side of things, I know where the shortcomings are as it relates to communications, to in any other aspect, to parents, because I am a parent. So when uh, people of administration try and portray this is what we're doing. This is how well it's being implemented. And I say, no, that's not accurate because I'm a parent. That is absolute truth. And it can't be disputed. And I'm thankful to have that opportunity, Miss Elizabeth, because you don't sit on the board. No other parent sits on the board that has a current student besides myself. So I owe you, I owe any other parent in this district the right to advocate because you all don't sit at that table. I do, even though many attempts have been made and I'm sure in the future will be made to silence me. Ultimately, it won't work. I'm not going anywhere and you can't silence me. But I owe it to y'all as a parent, right along with you, to bring forth and shed light on what we aren't receiving as a parent. Because I know it firsthand because I'm a parent.
She said, Ms. She said, her last name is Ms. Burns. She says,
Oh, it said Kayla Elizabeth.
she
Oh,
says, as a parent, I see it's not just parent, teacher, student issue. It's also higher up. You are not alone. I have seen some things at all Pontiac schools, from Rogers up to the high school. Don't give up. I support you. Shout out, Miss Kayla Elizabeth Burns.
oh, I didn't see the Burns. I
Yeah.
just saw Elizabeth on the screen.
Yes.
So I'm sorry for
Right.
calling you Miss Elizabeth, Miss Burns.
So
And it is right. It's not isolated to what we see. It extends beyond that. And I would like to reflect upon what everyone that was watching witnessed, the treatment of each other as colleagues, and we are all equal. The treatment of colleagues. And it reminds me of the many emails as a trustee that I receive with substantiated concerns from our staff. But you know what's concerning about that is that they have to come anonymously in fear of retaliation. And I wonder why they fear that they will be retaliated against. These are our staff. Look at how colleagues at the governance level are treated. I can only imagine the fear and concern that our staff has experienced as it relates to the emails that, as a trustee, I have received anonymously. It's disappointing. No one deserves that. Colleagues don't deserve that. Our staff don't deserve that. And for sure, our students don't deserve that.
I'm just waiting on the moment that, because for me, um, as a season, it's not about the years. I I made my fair share of mistakes, um, flipping over board tables, checking people over the mics, and I had to get some coaching. Right, there were some things that I needed to do to make that adjustment because this is the environment that I I went into. Right, unbeknownst to me, some of the things at a level. But I understand greed, I understand ego, I understand pride, I understand the fact that when people want something and they're willing to do whatever they need to do to get that. My standard is my standard. I don't. There's certain things that I just don't do. Like there's just certain lines that I'm just not going to cross. And it took me a year and a half to really kind of even openly allow these type of conversations to happen here in this particular space because I had to deal with my own triggers and my traumas with the same board, these same individuals, right? So I'm just going to paint this, not even paint the picture. I'm just going to put it out here real quick. I'm grateful for you being steadfast because it is about students. And it is about that's what this is about, and it's about staff and about handling our business, but it is about getting to the meat of why certain things happen, right? Why things happen, why people feel like they can just do whatever they want to do. There are other things that's going on in our community that this affects. We have a promise zone. And I'm gonna put this number out here real quick because I want people to keep that contact number. And in the promise zone, our kids receive money that through this promise zone that helps them with room and board and some of their college expenses, and then even trades. And so with all of these other with something this powerful that we have, when the board chooses to take his attention to censoring a board member, but not having not one person that's receiving this graduating year, and they can correct me if I'm wrong. That's why this is live, and I'll make a retracting statement if it is. Do we have any applicants for the Promise Zone that's graduating out of this graduating class in 2025? And so, to my understanding, we don't. And so, it's a as a sitting trustee, from birth to K to pre-K to high school, kids, I wish I would have had $50,000, but they can get up to $50,000, and they're thinking about raising it again. And so, please tell me what you would like to see as it relates to the intentions or directions of the board. We've talked, in my opinion, long enough about what we didn't do, what we, you're a leader. That's just it, flat out. And
Thank you.
there's not, you have feelings, you have emotions, I'm with Ms. Burns on this. You know what I'm saying? You have a right to feel. You have a right to express how you feel without being interrupted. And I'm glad we went in this direction tonight, because for me, to be able to create that space and people see a side of you that they traditionally wouldn't see if they just had that one clip. And I wasn't gonna play the clip, but it was just like, okay, we
I'm
got
glad you
into
did,
where
though.
we got to where we were at, it is. And if any other, I'm not gonna say that because I'm not gonna allow y'all on my platform. And the reason why I'm not gonna allow you on my platform is because of the fact that I had to create this platform because you tried to destroy everything about me. So I'm putting that out there. Like my personal life, my professional life, they've done some deliberate things that I had to get my money up and get some attorneys, because you know what I'm saying? It ain't just what happened on what you experienced with yourself, or you just experienced with Trustee Dooley. Like, this happened prior to. And so this is the pattern for these individuals. You guys are involved. You can't talk about it. I can talk about it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take you off the screen while I talk about it for a second. They're involved in a lawsuit with somebody that they inappropriately fired, and because she didn't agree with them, and she didn't do what they wanted her to do, and move the way that she needed to move, and they fired her. And now they're in a lawsuit and don't have proof to reasons why they fired her after having her contract. There are individuals who still that we're going to bring on the show that they inappropriately fired, even discriminated against because of their weight after hiring them. So it's not about a trustee in the sense of what they're doing; it's just what they're used to doing. And so I wanted to not get you involved in that particular space.
Thank you.
Because these individuals are very vindictive, and they'll do whatever they need to do to make sure that they interrupt the flow of your life. And you are a parent in the district, and you do have a child in the district. And these people are not, in my opinion, are not below anything, right? Once you get to a point where you can just blatantly censor someone because you don't like their tone, and you feel like they spoke to somebody differently in it, but you've collectively done this over time with everybody, whoever opposed you. We have to question, is it everybody else or is it you? So with that, Ms. Burns stated, let me get it out of this way so we can read this. And thank you for staying with us. Thanks for sharing
Thank
your
you.
side. Thanks for taking accountability. Thanks for everything you have said tonight. She greatly appreciates it. And
Thank you, Miss
so
Burns.
this
Thank
is
you.
where I say I don't. It could be just one person that hears it.
That's all that I done my job. If one person
That's
hears
it.
it.
That's all that's all that matters. And so we have to some introductions, and I want you to really I'm happy to introduce this part of. Let me pull a slide up. These two new individuals with the Promise Zone, and I'm going to speak a little bit more about it. But I'm grateful to have them a part of what's going on in with the Promise Zone because they are responsible now for getting students and families actively involved, right? So congratulations on their new hire. We got Phyllis, Miss Felicia. We got Miss Felicia Brown, and you have Miss Allison Anderson.
Congratulations.
You know what I'm saying? So congratulations. And again, here's that number for the Promise Zone contact is 248-214-0456. If you have a senior in the Pontiac School District area zone in Pontiac, and even don't even wait till they become seniors. Like if you have individuals, students here, you need to start get in contact with the Promise Zone and start planning for that child's future.
And in
And
addition to
so,
that, Mr. Garrett,
yeah.
do you know that even once you graduate, if you're in that zone, you have 5 years post graduation to utilize those funds?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I just want the community. I want people to know
Yeah,
that in case they have someone that they know, a neighbor, a child, a niece or
that's
nephew
been out there
that
for
are
about
still.
2 3 years. Yeah,
You
that's
still
good.
got a couple more years to
You still
use
got
that
some
money, and
time.
please do it. You
Yeah,
know.
you still have some time to make sure that you get and put yourself in the space that you know that this is worth it, is well worth it, and
And if I may pivot back to one question that you asked as it
mhm.
relates to the Promise Zone and of applicants of the Promise Zone, and you asked what I would like to see from the board moving forward. Um, that was roughly the question, right?
What in the sense of just I mean yeah because I mean just
Mm-hmm,
what
mm-hmm,
all right I mean what you would like to see from the board because now is
mm-hmm,
you know what's happening,
mm-hmm,
you know what has been said, what's the
mm-hmm.
vision, like what is
Well,
the
as it relates to the Promise Zone and our students, I think because that's
yeah
originally what the question was about. As it relates to the Promise Zone
yeah
and our students and making sure that they have
what's
the
your thoughts?
resources, though. When I first came in here, I thought I was working collectively with a group of like minded individuals that shared an interest in our children. After the last 11 ish months, I realized that at times that is not accurate. So, what I would like to see and what I plan on doing as an individual, because I am a parent, so I have
Mhm.
relationships with children and I am invested and I'm nosy and I ask them, what are you doing at the high school? What are your plans? What are you thinking about? What I intend on doing is continue to connect with these students and provide them a platform and so they can ask for resources based upon what they are interested in. Because
Mhm.
from what have experienced, just speaking with students that I am familiar with that reach out to me in any capacity, is that they don't know or they don't have the courage or they don't have the strength to move forward after high school because they said they feel at times that they're not deserving of that. They're not worth it. And as an individual, unfortunately, I wish I could do it as a board, but as an individual, I pride myself on reassuring our students and letting them know you are worth it. You do matter. You are a bright individual. Don't give up. So, what I need to do now, and what I intend on doing in the very near future, is to start putting these children that need some additional assistance of resources that I don't have and ask for these resources so that we can provide a pipeline and a pathline for our student success. Because what I don't want is for our students that want to do something and aspire
Mhm.
to do something different besides what they see or what they feel like they deserve. I don't want to see them a product of the system. I don't want them to come and see you, Mr. Garrett, in the Oakland County Sheriff Department. That's what I don't want. If I have any ability to intervene in that, I don't want that. for our kids when they have
So
all the resources, all of them.
so give me a little bit more about that. I want to let's talk about that. That's a great place to be to segue into this. So when you talk about resources, like, are you talking about just bringing a kid on to your platform, or just getting a collective group of kids and just going out getting resources for them, like whether that's community college resources, financial resources, tutoring? Is that a little bit? Have you thought through exactly what that looks like?
Uh, no, it is still
Okay.
in the brainstorming
Okay,
phases. But
that's cool. No, that's cool. Okay.
as of right now, what I want to do is I'm all consistently I've been communicating with children, with
Okay.
students, because
Mhm.
some of these are 18-year-old men or women,
Mhm.
communicating with students that I insert myself to say, what can I do for you? What assistance do you need? How can I help? And quite often I hear, and I have the messages, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing for me out there. And I'm steady pushing and said, yes, it is. So with that, on that note alone, what I want to do is bring these students on a platform, whether my platform, a public platform, because I don't
Mhm.
want to speak on their behalf. And I want to introduce them and say, what are your interests? What do you want to do? What excites you? What are you thinking about? And then ask people for resources just to give them some guidance, whether it's a trade, whether it's sports, whether it's journalism, it doesn't really matter. But just give them an avenue to where they don't feel like that there's nothing out there and no one cares. I can't sit, but that keeps me up at night. I can't sit back. So it came to me that this is what I will do. I've been doing it individually just through
Mhm.
messages with our students,
Mhm.
but I need to take that on a bigger form, on a larger platform as an
Hmm.
individual. I wish I could collaborate with, I wish it could be a more collaborative effort because there's seven of us that should be like minded for our students. But I can't wait on that. And I've been shown enough times that this is not a collaboration. And I accept that. So as an individual, this is what I'm going to do for our students to make sure that they know that there's plenty of people out here, plenty of resources that can set you up or give you a pathline, a path for some level of success in whatever you're interested in. I just want to get their stories out there. That's what I intend to do. That's what I am going to do, not intend. That's what I will do.
Okay. So whatever I can do to help with that, I'm
Thank
on it.
you.
Listen, I mean,
Thank you.
you have my full support. I think it's a great idea. I think that you don't need a school. You don't need seven people to agree with you to help people. Um, you don't. What you want to do. People hear you. I want to play this back. I think I'm gonna cut it up just to be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Are any business owners out there? Are there any nonprofits out there who um, don't mind helping Trusty Miller start this out? And really, because you really in the thick of it, right? You really in the thick of the students who really need the help, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
who really, we had some offline conversations about a lot of the students that you just nurtured throughout, football season, things of that nature. About to go into basketball season, but a lot of these student athletes and a lot of the people who they confide in you, and so a lot of some of those kids get really overlooked or pushed aside because of the fact that not that the resources are not there, but it's because if you're not speaking up or have somebody advocating for you, you don't get them. You just don't get them. And so I commend you for doing that
Thank you.
and making that space available. There's a I think there's, let me see, we had about an hour, but
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't want to keep you too long. I know this is episode 4. This is on this particular platform, on this particular series. Let me just say that we're wrapping it up. And for those who don't, you can go back and check it on YouTube and sharing things of that nature. But we're definitely going to have a Let's Talk Education and be more committed and intentional about some of the things that's coming down the pipeline. I do want to ask you this question. Trump, our president, he's still our president. I don't care if you voted for him or not. The man decided to say, I'm going to move forward with dismantling public education. When you heard that, the Department of Education, because I can tell you what that means, advocating in DC on education and some of the strategies from the lobby firm that we employ on a national level, what we plan on doing. But on a local level, when you hear that, what does that do for you? Like, what is the 11 months in? You just, hey, I want to be a trustee, but I don't even know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. My friends then gotta, then talk me into it. I got a senior, and then the
No, he's a
president of the
junior.
United
He's a junior.
States, he's a junior, but he's an upcoming, but he's a junior this year.
Yes.
So next year, this man, by next year, he's saying I'm dismantling the Department of Education as a governing body in an urban, and I'm not going to just say because it's urban, because it's happening across everywhere, but seeing the need and the resources that we still need here, and building a governance team. What are your thoughts? What are your visions? What are your vision and your thought when you hear something like that coming from somebody at that level, the president of the United States?
I don't like to panic and get all distraught unless
Mm-hmm.
things are really, really implemented. For example, when it was discussed about the government shutdown and things of that
Mm-hmm.
sort, and the information that went out for this district to parents caused, in my opinion, chaos. And it was inaccurate. It was inaccurate because it was inaccurate. I'll say it that way. So for me, I understand the dismantling of the board of Department of Education until it comes all the way down the pipeline where they say, okay, you guys don't have any more funding. I'm going to prepare. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to attempt to prepare, meaning that take a look at our budget. Most of our costs and what most of our spending is in administrative salaries.
Mm-hmm.
That is factual. I've suggested this several times over the past 11 months. At some point, I can't do it individually, but I would like to see some immediate action as it relates to cut spending, unnecessary spending, especially administratively, because that doesn't impact our students whatsoever. So that in the event we do
Well,
get to a point to where we're in a crunch, we have a cushion instead of scrambling and trying to figure out where we're going to get money from to pay our staff and our teachers.
okay. So administratively,
Mm-hmm.
when you say that, you mean top cabinet members, like chief academic officers, financial, like, those type of positions. There are, I've $23 million is in our top cabinet, um, of non-union employees. $23 million of that 140 something $1 million budget that we have right now in the district. 23 of it goes to administrators. So there's a lot of overlapping in jobs and things of that nature that I feel that, just expressly and seeing. So is that what you mean by making sure that you want to go through that with a fine tooth comb and find some savings there first?
Absolutely. And speaking on
Okay.
the administrative costs that we have, we are the, was it second in the county as it relates to paying our teachers. Don't quote me on that. I believe that's correct. But we have the highest costs in administration, and we receive the most per pupil in the county.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, we do. Well, it all depends on how you look at that. Like, it
Okay.
just,
Yeah, that's how I
like,
said. I don't want,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. It just all depends on how you look at that. But a lot of our communities, which we don't do,
Mhm.
and I'm kind of, because the way I see these people spend money, they overtax themselves in other communities, and I think that's what the trustee was saying in Rochester, was saying that we're about to put another tax on um, our constituency, and they need to know what that is, and then relative to how much of that is going to actually directly impact what we do as an educational system
Mhm.
in the municipality, in the community. And I think that's what she was saying. And if three again, we said it earlier in the conversation, if $3 million of our tax dollars are going to help other communities, but yet we still have a need, Chromebooks, up to date curriculum, and those things in that nature. I think you're spot on with saying there we need to look at that administratively and
And we
comb
also
through
need to
that.
watch and see how
Yeah.
that money is being spent. It should be all on record. Take a look and reflect upon how that money is being sent, what's being approved, what the recommendations have been. We had a consultant that came in, did a very extensive deep dive into our curriculum. They spoke with almost all of our staff and the
Mm-hmm.
board, and gave 34-page report on how we can right size this district in several different layers. And every time I bring it up to implement one thing, the first thing I brought up was the curriculum that, as the report indicates, is at minimum 10 years behind what is necessary for success for students. And I was met with a $539,000 a purchase rec for books and materials, and we have materials that are in the fail center that have yet to be inventoried and distributed to the students and staff in the schools. And as the record will reflect, I have brought that up several times starting in March or April. So this is where the frustration comes about.
Hmm. I don't know what you want from me. Like I don't. I
I
mean, it's
pride
not. It's
myself on being transparent and honest.
okay.
I have to be able to sleep at night.
I
So if
get
somebody don't
it.
like what I'm saying,
I
it's
get
the
it.
truth.
I get it. Most people who are even, I wish I had a better answer. I don't.
It's
I can't.
okay.
And I hear you
Mhm.
because I never thought I would have this conversation again. This is one conversation that I never thought that I would have with a new trustee in my hand. And I think that's when people say why you keep coming back. This is why, because until we make it a priority, then we'll be here. So, and
And I
there,
appreciate conversations like this,
yeah,
Skill, because even the statement you just made when you said, I never thought that I would have a conversation like this again,
yeah,
that gives me so much comfort to know that I'm not by myself. I'm not just spinning my wheels. I didn't
okay.
know that you've had this conversation before me. I
Look,
didn't know.
I've had this conversation. I've had this conversation, and this is why I don't really have these type of educational conversations about my own district
Hmm.
because I've watched people prior to me. I started out teaching here.
Hmm.
I wasn't a police officer. I started out teaching here. I've watched the Mean Girl crew, Mean Boy crew forever in a day. This has always been used as a stepping stone to go somewhere else, whether it's state rep or council or, and our kids have always been left behind. Very few, very few people that I've ever come across really stick and stay for the school district. And that's not just here. That's throughout public education.
Hmm.
So over the years of me studying the systems, I've studied systems now. Like I'm about changing systems. I can care less about people, adults. So whatever methods I need to use to change the system, because that's what affects our kids is the system. because the system stays the same, the faces change.
Hmm.
And so um, you would, so you're not alone. You're not alone. Trustee Dooley's not alone. I just think that a lot of times people get their eyes opening to something that they think that people care about children, and it really isn't about children. And I think that in episode 5, we're going to spend a little bit more time. We'll bring some people on, have some conversations. It's not about kids and loving them and caring about them. It really isn't. It really is not. This is a mean sport, a gladiator sport with people who come in fake under the auspice of I love children only to make themselves little kings and little queens on the backs of kids.
And now do you
And
see why I get so
and so
frustrated in our offline conversations? Because I truly, truly, and I know a few other people know, I truly love and care about our children. I truly,
and
truly do.
and that's cool. And you can say that 1,000 times. You can say
I
that.
know.
You can say that 1,000 times. That's that means absolutely zero to people who do not believe that. And so I
Hmm.
don't spend time talking about it. Like I just don't, because people like yourself who have policy backgrounds, who have business backgrounds, who can read budgets, those are the type of people we need in urban areas that I've seen, that you need these type of individuals to get on these boards and now have a business mindset and enough emotional intelligence to be able to navigate through the wolves that have infested the sheep for
Hmm.
years. And that's just what it's about. And everybody doesn't have to do the same thing. You know what I mean? Everybody doesn't have to, because no, they don't care. It's obvious. It's obvious. And when you keep talking, like people have a way of making themselves the victim, and they
Hmm.
do it in such a way, and then turn around and look at you and be like, "See, you look at her yelling. Well, you just told me this shit was fun. I mean, you told me it was funny. I think I don't FCC don't get me on that one. You just told me it was funny. You understand what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
like, it's those type of things that's seen and not seen. But and I be encouraged. That's pretty much what I could tell you.
Thank you.
There are folks that that we're going to bring on to the show that you and I both know now, right? Like we
Hmm.
commonly know now because you spent some time out there at the Oakland County School Board Association, Michigan Association of School Boards, NSBA. These are nonprofits. These are not governing agencies. So what's troubling to me is that you got individuals who's making $200,000 a year, who have responsibility in an administration, and the first thing they say is Michigan Association of School Boards told me. They got to go by the same laws we go by. And I'm sitting on the board of directors. This is a past board of director telling you this. Like, they have no power over you, but because we don't do enough of this to educate people, they put out these misrepresented statements. Well, I talked to the Michigan Association of School Boards, and they say board members should act. No,
No.
that's a recommendation. They didn't see you cut up and do all your dirt, and then call them and say, "Come correct this trustee," right? So these are the type of games that's played, and we see it. So in that aspect, we talked about the promise zone. We talked about
Hmm.
some of the work that you definitely want to do when it comes down to students who need that advocacy piece.
Hmm.
Is it cool to is it okay if is there's a certain email that we can start to give out, or would you put in the chat or comments when this is all said and done, where
I
people
will
can
put
get a
it in the
hold?
chat and comments again.
Yeah, where
Gil,
people can get a hold to you.
you know firsthand, it is this. I'm so thankful that this idea came to me when it did, because I was at a crossroad, and you know that. And now that I'm back energized, and I know now that I can move forward with doing something for our children. Our students is what matter. But I'm still in the brainstorming phases. And if anyone can help me and assist me in how to navigate or just kind of fine line and streamline this, I'm welcome to it, please. But I will put it in the chat, or I will do that immediately. Again, I went to bed feeling one way. I woke up feeling a whole different way and re-energized. And I'm
And
moving forward with it.
that's what's up. Like that's if you're not in it, if if this doesn't affect you the way that it did, you don't care about students. Go build a truck. Go build a house or something. I'd have told you go build a house or something. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you in the wrong spot. You know what I'm saying? If you would have just treated this like, oh, it was just everything else, I'd have been like, no, this ain't for you.
Exactly.
You know what
But
I'm
you
saying?
never said that to me.
Yeah, no, I didn't have to. I mean, I clearly when we talked, I clearly understood what space you was in. I get it, we get it, but it's not it. But you're supposed to feel that way. What I don't want you to walk away from, or anybody to walk away, anybody listening to this, is get away from their feelings and emotions when they're attached and passionate about something. And it's not about saying it 1,000 times as it is. You got to feel it, right? If you don't wake up and saying, you know what, I can't do this. This ain't. I'm 1,000 times. I've talked to myself out of even dealing with these people, trying to talk myself on. Leave it alone, Gil. You got enough. You know what I'm saying? You got grandkids, Gil. Leave it alone. You don't need this. You don't need. But if it's in your call, if it's a part of your process, it's gonna get you to your purpose. If it's a part, it's gonna get you to your assignment. That's what we believe over here, and that's what happens. And so, welcome to trust in the process, and welcome to
And
finding
because
your
I'm trusting the
purpose.
process and I
Yes,
have found my purpose, even if it's just temporarily, I was at that crossroad where I was like, I don't need this. I just want to do what's right by kids. I don't need a title for that. This is too stressful. There, I can't implement anything. I can't even do what's right. I can't even have people
you keep
listen.
saying that. Stop saying
I know,
that.
I know. Okay, okay. All
You
right.
stop
I got
saying
it.
that because you
I
are
know.
doing what's right,
I
and you
understand.
don't
I
need those
understand.
people to do that.
And
You,
going to bed and waking up reminded me that I have a greater purpose
yes,
for being here. I
yes,
have a greater
yes.
purpose. And I was reminded of that. I am human. I'm not perfect. We all have flaws. And I
What
was in my
are
feelings
we?
because I felt disappointment. I had an array of emotions. But once I went to sleep and it came, I woke up and I was like,
You
okay,
woke up
here it
like this.
is.
This how you you woke up like this.
If young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you.
That's how you woke up. We do not own the rights to that music.
Do not.
We do
Hey,
not own the right. Hey, listen. I look.
hey, either that or I
Listen.
won't deny it. I'm a
Oh
straight
man, listen.
rider. You
That
don't
was
want
a
to
hold
mess
on. Let
with
me
me.
listen. I put there was something else that I had in there. Oh my god, I don't even want to. I don't think I. Hold on. I think I got. Hold on. Let me see. No, I think it's. That was some old like. It's like back in the day, like gutter music. I'm cut that.
You showing you? I don't even know.
Hey, listen, stop it. Yeah,
I mean, if you want to go gutter, you can play Cheddar Boy. I mean, don't get me started.
yeah. I'm just simply saying, sometimes you gotta push yourself, right? Like sometimes you have to push yourself, and sometimes you gotta laugh it off. You know what I'm saying? You gotta cry it out. You gotta bow it out. You gotta pray it out. But then you gotta know that you gotta. At some point, you had to find out if this is really what you want to do. And I'm grateful you had that moment. I'm
And
grateful that
sometimes for me, you have
yeah,
to tap into people that actually
yeah.
care, that are in your circle. My circle is not big. But sometimes when you send that SOS call and say, I am in this is an emergency, I'm in distress. And then people can say, listen to me right now. This is
Yeah.
what this is what you're gonna listen to me. Here are your options. Here are
Hey,
your strengths. Reminding you, and I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Listen, man,
What?
because you can. Cause, so this was the original "We from New York" beat from Jay-Z. That people don't know that. I don't even go back to my DJ days. They don't be understand that. Sibo, what's up, my brother? What's
Yeah,
going
you
on
got
with
me
you,
on that
man?
one.
I appreciate you. Because listen, I always tell people at some point, if I roll over one day and we talking and I'm like this,
and then you gotta find out about who this is, that becomes a different person. You gonna have to deal with a different person.
exactly. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
you meant to do that? I was scared to.
And that's a whole different guy right there. A whole different dude.
Did you see how I was frantic?
Hey, listen, look, you got nervous. You need to go to church. You need to start praying.
I'm like, oh, what am I
Hey,
hearing? Let me
listen.
take this out my
Hey, man, look,
ears.
like on the real though, like listen, and now we can get in it. Man, miss you
Ooh.
too, bro. Listen, talk about trust in the process. Sibo, I got to get you up on here, man. Like, this is my brother Sibo, right? Like
Hey, Sibo.
this,
Put it on the screen so I can see it.
so he's the first of us out of the neighborhood, right? Like we all bowled together, right? He's a professional bowler.
Oh, wow.
And when I tell you, I know Sibo, she was shook, wasn't she? He was a professional bowler, PBA, right? So you talk about knew what he wanted to do since the bowling balls were bigger than us. That's what he wanted to do. So he know everything about it. And he finally he got to live his life's dream to be a professional bowler. He trusted the process from little pal bowling.
Oh, wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So Sibo say hello, young lady. Sibo, you ain't about to do this. Not on my show, you ain't. I'm gonna go and let that ride, y'all. I'm gonna take care of that. You take care of that in the DM. You know what I'm saying? So now, because you know what? Now we can transgress. You know, we got to transition. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Now
got
I
some
can laugh. I
answers.
haven't laughed in a couple days. I can laugh now.
We got some things that we're gonna talk about and we're gonna bring up. We're gonna have conversations, but I know Sibo say living our dream, bro. And we are. Listen, everything that I'm doing right now is basically it's been what we talked about is little tykes on the east side of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and he said I'm 51 and almost married. Sibo crazy. Listen, so that's what I mean though. Like we got to get to a point now where you have to transition.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to begin to be like, okay, yeah, these are the ideas, these are the thoughts and things of that nature. And I think you're doing an excellent job with handling it as a newcomer, as a rookie, right? In a you've been tested. I really shout out to the top to Trustee Dooley how she handled that meeting was amazing, right? And I've worked with her for decades. I'm thinking it was about to be I'm like, oh boy, that y'all done messed y'all doing this fake stuff with the wrong person. Like she gonna stand up. She been standing up and advocating for education her whole life. Born and raised in Pontiac. And she stood tall. And she made people think about like, oh, wait a minute, I can have a voice. Right? I can, and she was like, I don't want no closed session. Y'all ain't about to hide this. Put it out in the open. I was like, oh boy, hold on. I'm like, what did she just say? Did she say put it out in the open? I said, I know she
Yes,
didn't say
she
put it out in the
did.
open. I was like, ooh, that's gonna be ugly when that comes out. And I was like, well, let it be. And so she really handled that. And so with that being said, when you talk about on the next episode, I really want to get into. Had a chance to talk to Valerie and some of the things that they're voting on. Everything should be done in December 2nd, around there. Your appointment to the NSBA Black Caucus should be official. We do plan on coming to your school board meeting. I'll use my 3 minutes because I know they ain't gonna let me get on the agenda. I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna ask to be put on the agenda, and if I don't get put on the agenda, then I'll put my 3 minutes in. Yeah, but I'll have my 2.5 minute speech prepared as an NSBA representative to welcome you to the NSBA Black Caucus, and I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all how y'all grow that caucus, right? I'm looking forward to seeing that and making sure that you're gonna be representing Pontiac as you always do, and as you often represent yourself, and it didn't come because you couldn't be there, right? Like I always tell people you wouldn't be there if you couldn't be there. And so, when you start advocating for Black students and brown students and board members of color across the country, that's a different animal, because people laws are different in different states, and they're how they're governed is different in different states, and it took me a minute to kind of learn that, but you're such a quick learner and such an advocate for what you're trying to do, and just the love for people. I think you're going to be a good fit in that position, and then we can slide you on over to Cube. You know what I'm saying? With like get you out that box, put you on over here to Cube, right?
Because Cube is where it's at. I mean, I appreciate all the entities, but Cube is where I
man,
digress.
we work hard over there.
I digress. It was
when
very, very impactful to be at that retreat.
I never asked you this, and I think I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to put you on a, not necessarily a spot. Maybe I should say, I thought I was going to need this.
You thought I was going to need it from me?
I thought I was going to be like, I put all these sounds in because I was trying to be prepared. I didn't know what was. I was like, oh boy.
I'm gonna keep it cool. I'm gonna try my best to keep it cool.
I looked at it, I was like, oh man, she got a Renaissance city. I said, oh Lord, it's about to go.
When I come with a hoodie on,
about to go down. So,
man, listen.
Man, for real. Like, so listen, y'all, man, if y'all want to call in on episode 5, y'all want to call in, ask questions, anything like that, we're gonna open up some lines to do so, and making sure that we make this interactive with our folks, and so y'all clearly understand what's going on with us here in Pontiac, Michigan, and what we got going on. We're a small microcosm of what's happening across the country, and we want to be able to share our resources with everybody else to make sure that they, don't have to go through what Trustee Miller. And if you do go through it, you got somebody that you could talk to. She done been through it. She ain't, what I'm saying? She can advocate for you. She can say, girl, you might not want to say that at that meeting, but I got a couple meetings that you.
Let me tell you how to write a really stern email, because you want to keep your documentation. Everything is in writing.
Exactly. Like, board members need that, and not none of this cookie cutter. Well, the board should just all get along. Yeah,
we need to show a force of unity. And
I believe, what? To a certain degree, I believe that. But you got 7 different minds. Mm-hmm. And in my leadership style, I'm a collective. I'm a collaborative leader. I allow people to really kind of be who they are, and then and give and find what their strength is, and then be able to move them in that particular area. And I think, and then I also had to learn that when I am leading, sometimes I do have to be the bad guy. I just have to make a decision, and then that decision has to be where we need to go, right? And it's a balance. It's a healthy balance, especially when no decision is being made, because no decision being made is a decision. And so that's one of the things that I learned in my last transition. You can build people up, but sometimes they be too scared to make a decision in the midst of when a decision needs to be made. And that was one of the things I learned.
And being a leader that you have been in several different entities, it's okay. It is expected of leaders to be able to uphold the expectations of the people that they're leading. And it's okay to be the bad guy. I know if I was on the receiving end of that, as long as you are fair and accurate with me, if you present whatever you present, and I look at it and I did it, I'll be like, well,
Mm-hmm.
well, okay. But it's the ability to be impartial and to be unbiased. When you show favoritism and you can't be fair, that's not a leader.
Yeah,
Never will be.
yeah. I think because some
People like they hide behind the mask. They be like, what? Is it me? It sounds like on the first 48 when somebody trying to tell a story.
when somebody trying to tell a story on the first 48, they be like,
When I was a youth,
I know. I listen. Typically on Trust the Process, man, I'm really not this serious. I'm really not. I try to break it up a little bit because people, they be watching for a reason. You know what I'm
Made
saying?
me nervous. I'm about
Like,
to
they be
get my
watching.
my,
Hey,
my
Sibo
holy
said
oil.
Sibo said she was shook. She was shook
I gotta get my
when that voice
holy
came across.
oil.
I was, a lot of times, I'm so glad we've been able to go so long because of just the internet monster was getting us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The internet monster was getting us. Take the controller. Take. James, this is my guy says take the controller from him. Man,
Please.
James Gayman, he's been doing a lot of things in the community, man. Born and raised Pontiac. Good guy, man. And definitely would like to get him on the show. He's still making movies, stand-up comedian, has done a few things just throughout the area. Like our kids have access. So when I say they have, we're gonna put your contact information. Like there's some people who really want to be a part of that.
And I appreciate, and it's not for me. I'm irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's for our kids.
But I mean, in all fairness, it is for you because if you don't come up with the ideal to see it through, then what good is you? What good is God using you for a vessel?
I agree. And that's
You know
why
what I mean?
I
Like it's
corrected
not.
myself when I say I intend on doing it by saying I
Yeah.
am going to
No,
do it.
you're gonna
It's
do
not an
it. You're
intent.
gonna do it. And
Yeah.
and I'll be honest with you, one of the cats that I think they ran him out of the district, and I'll leave it alone. But we definitely need to bring him back. Kano Phillips he was really doing some things in the district. Really doing some positive, like first time when some people bring all the colleges and community colleges and trades to the schools, right? We had a big gymnasium field, we had the small gymnasium field, and kids saw themselves. He had all the kids come from PAE, all the kids, they came over to the high, and they did this for 2 days. He was doing mock interviews with students, teaching them how to do lead in that particular space. Kano Phillips was leading in the space when it came down to making sure that with CTE programs and people being recognized and kids and students being recognized for what they could do and who they are. So some of the same things you were doing, we once were doing. But I believe from what I've just seen, this is not something that I can honestly say that I think I know for a fact, but I do know this for a fact. There were roadblocks put in his way to stop him from growing and really doing some things. What he was doing, we had other people that should have been doing it, and they were not. And they were making broken promises, and that's just it. And I'll leave that right there. But you definitely should talk to him about.
I would love to collaborate because
I'm telling you,
I can only go so far when kids call my
listen,
son and they
exactly.
he hand me the phone and say, well, what do I
So
do and say to
is
this? And I
there.
say, here.
Yeah, it's there. It's definitely there. Like, again, a lot of men don't really, in my opinion, and just what I've been heard since I've been sharing my story, a lot of men don't get involved because they ain't got time for the mean girl crew. They ain't got time for that. They professional men. They ain't got time for get called the police on and lied about this and feel like they got traumatized. But when I told my story, it kind of freed them up to be like, damn, OG, it happened to you? I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. But the other part of that is because I do know the law and I do understand what was happening, I was willing to go through it. You know what I mean? I was willing to go through it. But they will never get the opportunity to do that to me again. I treat them like the plague. Like, what? Air? aerosol, like, get back. You know what I'm saying?
Like you cut the lights on and roaches.
Oh man, I be. Girl,
I got digress. I
you don't
digress.
need. Hey, listen, you.
I be like, man, we ain't doing this. Not today, man.
Take the switchboard. Somebody need to
We ain't.
monitor and
Hey,
disconnect his
man.
switchboard.
Hey, man, we ain't doing that. We
I'm
ain't.
sending the SOS to somebody to go to where he at to
I
disconnect,
ain't.
unplug it, unplug
I
the
ain't no.
switchboard.
I ain't 6'7", 6'7", 6'7".
I ain't going through it, man. So listen, I promise y'all, man, we're gonna have an excellent time, man. I appreciate you, but listen, I thank you for being here. Thank you for the 4 series that you did give us, and I look forward, man, to sharing. Let's talk education with you, man, because it's people need to really know what their power is. And I'm gonna send some clips to the national NSBA so we can get this out in 3 regions so people know who they getting. You know what I'm saying? I can really kind of, I'm talk to Val, say, Val, I need an executive favor. You know what I'm saying? So we get this posted,
You better call
in
her
some
Miss
of the other
Val and
series.
see what make
Hey,
sure
listen,
you.
I'm gonna have to. And Philly didn't beat us already. She didn't text me a couple times talking about the Lions. I didn't even want to hear. I ain't even answered the last phone call. Like, we ain't even doing it. We not about to play them kind of games. But thank you.
Thank you for the space.
We've
You
been
don't know
for
how
like
much I
2 hours.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Oh, no doubt. Listen, man, we here. But we got work to do. We got work
Yeah.
to do, and people got to understand that it's about where we're going and how we're moving. So, your last episode with a focus
You kicking
is
me
on
off?
you.
I'm done.
Oh yeah, you done. You out of here. We out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's 10:10. You know what I'm saying? I see Roscoe Biko trained and took him a nap.
Roscoe, come here.
Yeah.
You get beard in. Come on, baby.
Man, Roscoe looked in his head, was like, I'm done. Sadie just chilling. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
appreciate you. Thank you. If there's anything you want to leave the people with, what would it be?
I'm not gonna quit on y'all. And just keep me lifted in prayer. Keep me in your thoughts because it's gonna need the whole village. But I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna move forward. That's all I got.
Appreciate y'all, man. God bless you, man. Tune in, like, share, and subscribe, man. Listen, Facebook, YouTube. Thank y'all so much. Get over there. Check out the series. We're going to run them back. We're going to keep running them back. We got Thanksgiving coming up. I don't know. I'm going to get it back on before Thanksgiving. I have to get it back on before Thanksgiving.
I'm here for it if you want to.
There's some things that's going on before Thanksgiving. There's a meet. Hey, y'all got a meeting tomorrow. There's a meeting tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
There's a meeting tomorrow. We probably go live from there. We're gonna cut up. We're gonna put some things out, and we're gonna treat our kids with respect and our people with respect, like they're supposed to be treated. And it don't matter what you could do for us. It don't matter. It don't matter what you could do for us. It's about what we do for kids. Because just like they say in the African village, how are the children? How are the children? God bless y'all, man. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good night.